going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a quick little review on my Nukeproof Giga. It's the 275, which is the 27.5 wheels. Quick overview, this bike does have the RockShox zip, the basic one, so it doesn't have the compression. Neither does the rear shock, which is the RockShox Super Deluxe. It has, frame protection. It came with a chain guide. I put the chain guard, the crank guard, extra protection up here. It does come with clear protection all the way around. The only thing I've had a problem with this bike is the dropper seat post. I'm 5'5", 65 inches. This bike is meant for somebody that's 5'2" to 5'7". I have a 28-inch inseam, and with the dropper all the way extended, I still don't get optimal riding position. Also, this is the deepest you can put this in, so that's kind of odd that I'm in the right in the middle category, and they made the bike like this. That's the only problem. So when I need the dropper all the way down, I don't have as much wiggle room to get around, move around on the bike like I usually would on my older bikes. It has the 180 travel front and rear. It has the 4-piston brakes with the rotors of 203. Let's see, 27.5 by 2.4 Wild Enduro Michelin. Said that backwards, sorry. The only problems that came for me, because obviously it came from Chain Reactions in the UK and I'm in the West Coast here in the United States, is bent rotor. I talked to them and they were fantastic customer service. They helped me adjust my brakes, and I had told them about the rotor as well. I took it to the shop. The shop recommended a new one, but because of COVID and all that crap, their parts are really scarce. So they just adjusted it as best as they could. I can still hear a slight rub. Chain Reactions covered it all, so that's fantastic on them. This bike it's been a blast. I've taken it here in Southern California to Hoodla Crooks, Sycamore Canyon, and Greer Ranch. If you look those up, you kind of see what each one entails. Hoodla Crooks has kind of big climbs and big descents. Sycamore is a little flowy. It has a little bit of everything. No big climbs, no big descents, but it has jumps, rock features. And then Greer Ranch is almost like a mini Enduro. They have pretty intense tracks there. It's really fun. Careful for rattlesnakes now. So this bike, of course, it's a Super Enduro. It has a head tube angle of 63.5, so obviously you're gonna know it's gonna bomb downhill. It's gonna give you the confidence that you need in order for you to kind of keep your composure going downhill, doing those features that are at a downward angle, which I never used to be able to do until I got on this bike. Climbing, I know you guys are all interested in climbing. Pretty soon I'll do a video of me doing some crazy climbs on this bike to see how it does, but in my opinion, every bike can climb, especially now that I have that that simplicity of a 1x. Granted, I guess 2x and 3x's had more gears, but it climbs. Every bike can climb, like I said. The only difference is your cardiovascular endurance. And to me, I would always take the confidence-inspiring downhill momentum of this bike and work through the uphills. It doesn't climb bad. It doesn't have, when you're sitting on the saddle, it doesn't really have crazy pedal bob, even though it doesn't have a compression lockout. Of course, when you stand up and you give it power, it's gonna have pedal bob, but every bike will that doesn't have a lockout. And obviously, if it's a heavier bike than the typical Enduro bike, and more so the trail bike, so yeah, you're gonna feel that weight. But if you start to build cardiovascular endurance, your heart will thank you, and it's just extra gain, so why not do it? You'll probably be a little bit behind the pack when you go with friends, which I usually am, but I like being in the back. I get to see where I need to go, and it keeps me motivated to keep up with them. So like I said, that just pushes me to be a better rider and better endurance. I switched to this bike from my trail bike with 130, 120 in the back because I'm a newer rider and I take risk. Not being said, I take risks on the other bike, but I mean, if you look at my shocks, they're both maxed out on their suspension. And that's not because I take huge jumps, it's because I have terrible form, which I've been working on. But my other bike, when I would do this, obviously it would max it out and then I would get bucked off. So to help me with that, I got this a lot more travel than I used to have and a lot wider wheelbase. And now I feel confident doing jumps at a downward angle or doing rockles or features or berms or anything. With the other bike, I would have to be more cautious, choose better lines. And when you're a newer rider, you're kind of having a lot of input at one time. You can't rely on, like, for lack of better words, your instincts or your foundation of your training, because I have very little of that. So I get, yeah, when you're a great rider, I've seen that guy in Bandcamp, he took a XC bike on the North Shore. So that tells you any bike can go anywhere with a great rider. I'm not a great rider. I have a great bike. I like to think so. It's the Nukeproof Comp, by the way. So it has the Shimano Dior drivetrain, and like I said, the rock shocks. The other two models that are above this one come with the, I forget what exactly it is, the Fox. They do have compression lockouts, but they're also like another $1,500 more. So I couldn't afford that. Overall, the bike has given me a lot of confidence. I've fallen a lot of times on the bike, and you know, thank goodness it has the frame protection that it does, and I added the extra frame protection because I have scuffed up the frame protection and even the bike itself. You know, actually it's cleaned up pretty well. Other than that, there was a little weird thing I talked about in my last video, that the gap between this collar here and the seat tube, you were able to see like exposed, I guess, carbon fiber. I did the Mickey Mouse way of actually putting duct tape over it because it doesn't drop down any further. Let me just show you guys a couple of things on the bike. All right, so let's see if you can kind of hear that scuffing. There it is. I've tried fixing that. I pinpointed the spot that I made it from and still couldn't do anything about it. Of course, the 180 maxed out, looking good. Dirty. Nukeproof. I do have a 25-ounce water bottle that fits here. It's great for my ladder rides. Now that I have a baby, I can't go for long ones, so it's actually been really helpful. I have a bike pump here. I went cheap. This is what you get when you go cheap. I lost the cap already. I did buy a little kind of, what do you call that, a frame bag, so I have everything that goes on top for my shorter rides, which is great. Chain guide comes in stock, and I bought the bash guard separate. Crank Brothers race face, crank protectors. Shimano Dior, it's great. I already scuffed it up pretty good. You know, a lot of falls. Let's give you some of that hub sound.